Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. Whew. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I have reached my very first goal, which was 500 subscribers. Now I need to get my viewing hours up, okay? So y'all need to go in the playlist, click on some of my videos, watch them for a few minutes, get those hours going. I do some incredible 3-minute wrap-ups and I do incredible 3-minute shorts about stuff because that is my thing. I like doing short videos, but every now and then I have to do some of the longer videos to keep in these algorithms, okay? So, also, I'm going to be doing more hot topic stuff. I kind of like that. I just have to find stuff that I like talking about. Maybe some political stuff, maybe some current event stuff, and maybe some celebrity stuff. Because I'll be honest with you, reality TV is a lot, okay? Reality TV will have you up and down, back and forth. It's just be a lot going on, all right? So, but we're going to go ahead and I'll be changing it up down the road. But for now, we're going to go ahead and finish up this Belle Collectives. If y'all notice, I don't do love and hip hop too much anymore. I may do a final 3-minute wrap up because, Yandy's broke up with Mendeezy and all of that stuff. And it's like, I'm just over it at this point. So, yeah, we're going to do Belle Collective real quick. Um, they're still at the mop gate thing, and I'm tired of this mop. Even in the confessional, they put a mop in the chair. I just, I'm like, can we let this mop thing go and resolve it? That's where I'm at. So this commentary is basically going to be about the whole Tiffany and Stormy, and I'm going to throw Fumi in there just a little bit in the beginning, just to kind of, because she was pretty interesting with this whole house hunting thing. Now, before we get started, as always, I do my disclaimer. Everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. All right? I do my commentary week to week based on the show that airs on TV, with the understanding that these shows are edited, so we may not get to see the whole scene play out. I don't have a dog in this fight. One week I may like a person, the next week I may not like a person. But I give the commentary based on what I see on the television screen. All right. Now let's get started. Last week I did say Carlos was doing a great job reinventing Stormy, but I might need to take that comment back because I'm starting to see hurricane, windstorm, thunderstorm Stormy back at her old antics again. Stormy, you had me for a minute, but then Tiffany was able to bring it back out of you. But we'll talk about it. So let's just talk about Fumi and her husband real quick. They go over here to look at this big old mansion, okay? And allegedly it's on 20 acres, 2.6 mil, 14,000 square feet. That is some cheap real estate in Alabama. Because a 14,000 square foot house on 20 acres in any other state would cost 3 or 4 times what they're asking for there. This is less than $3 million. Now, with that being said, Fumi, the house is nice and it's grand, just like you like it. But there's a lot of updates that need to be done in the house because it is a little dated. So add another $1 million trying to get that house updated to 2026. That's all I'm saying. Now, why you want something that big? You said you want it for your children, I guess to show them that, the American dream. I don't know. But according to your husband, you over there in a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house already. I'm like, well, what other American dream you want to show them? Because most people in America don't live in a 14,000 square foot house, but they probably can meet you at this 5-bedroom, 5 bathroom home. But hey, some people like it grand. That's all I'm saying. So, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. She wants the kids to build their houses on the land. I don't know. I just think it's too much. And Fumi is doing too much when it comes to this house. And that's all she talks about. But when that man told her to sell all her stuff and she can get at least $300,000 to put down, that was a no-go. She said the money she makes off of being an influencer on social media, which is over 6 figures, she gonna use it to buy her Chanel bags and all that other stuff. We all know social media influencers come and go. I'm not saying she's not very, very famous. What I'm saying, there's ups and downs. And this economy is pretty tough right now. So I wouldn't be investing all my money right now in a $2.6 million house because you don't know how it's going to go in the next 6 months. At the rate the economy going, the gas prices, people are pulling back and not using their disposable income like they used to. So I'm just saying, be careful, Fumi. But if that's what you want, knock yourself out. All right. I don't want to see another Wendy and Eddie Seffel. That's all I'm saying. Now, with that being said, Stormy had this event at her house that she's planning for the girls. She invites Tiffany. Tiffany is shocked she's invited. But Stormy's like, hey, I'm just trying to get everybody together and actually show people how to host the event, how to host a event and being respectful, with each other. Because apparently Tiffany event just went to crap. Let's just keep it a buck. Okay. So the ladies are all talking about the event. They're getting ready to go. The sprinter comes up. Everybody gets on the sprinter. As the sprinter takes off, Tiffany, true to fashion, got to start talking because people are starting to wonder, like, Tiffany's here. Yes, Stormy did invite her. Now, Tiffany is going to, I'm sorry, it's Kayla, Sonetta, Tiffany, Fumi, and Amber. Okay, that is on the sprinter. Fumi eventually starts letting the people know she's looking at this big house, and everybody's thinking, girl, you is crazy trying to, but good luck to you. I wouldn't do it. So nobody's really in agreeing with Fumi buying that house, but they like, hey, if she want to do it, let her do it. So we all kind of see the same thing, like, yeah, that's a little bit much right now. But again, they didn't tell her no. They smiled, but in that confessionals, they went right in there and said, ain't no way in the world I'd buy a house like that. Right, not right now. Now, Amber got the phone call about her eggs, her egg retrieval. Congratulations to her. And Tiffany said, oh, yeah, I want more kids, but my husband wants a vasectomy. So we're going through that. Girl, your husband don't want no more kids with you. Let's just keep it a buck. And I'm sure he loves you, but he just probably does not want to tolerate you with any more kids. Okay. Now, Stormy is back home doing a photo shoot for a magazine called Lennox and Parker. She's looking really pretty. I love that little gold mustard color outfit she has on. Stormy is always a beautiful person to me. Carlos has done a good job trying to reinvent Stormy on this show, so we kind of forget how she was on the old show. But Stormy is slowly coming back to being Stormy. Now I know the last video I did, I was Team Stormy a little bit. I said I like the way she's holding her composure, but I knew it just was gonna be a moment for somebody, pulled that switch. And like I said, Hurricane Stormy, Tornado Stormy, Windstorm Stormy, Winter Storm Stormy, Snowstorm Storm. I knew it was coming out. And this episode right here, it tweaked out just a little bit. But let's go through the process and see what happened. Tiffany seems like the type of person who can get on anybody's nerves. Literally anybody's nerve. Um Again, Tiffany's on the bus talking about her relationship with Stormy and maybe she should have a conversation with her. Tiffany said, I'm 36 years old and I'm not going to be arguing about a mop. I'm just going to do the apology. Then she turns to Kayla and have a conversation with Kayla. And she kind of gave her an apology. Kayla just said, look, I felt teamed up between you and Kendra. Y'all seemed like y'all was double teaming me. And then Tiffany said, you know what? I can understand that. So I apologize, but I'm going to be watching you. Backhand apology, Tiffany, as usual. The ladies finally arrived at Stormy's house. The house is absolutely gorgeous. Fumi's like, oh my God, look at this. Fumi's looking at that house saying, this is where I need to be. I love all this acres. This is beautiful. Stormy, you done put an ideal in Fumi's head. Fumi gonna get her a ranch and some horses, okay? The other ladies, I think had been there before, but they were still impressed. Tiffany tried to act like it was no big deal. But I know deep down inside, she was a little impressed with Stormy House. Stormy has a beautiful home, okay? Um, they get in the house, of course, Stormy's welcome everybody. She gives them a hug, and Tiffany gives her a half hug, and Stormy said, I know this half ain't half hug me or whatever. Tiffany, you starting already. You just got to the house. Tiffany talking about she brought some holy oil. Tiffany hides behind the Bible and her spirituality and her religion too much for me. We get it, you're a Christian. But, and I'm not saying don't be proud of being a Christian, but I think you let that define every situation you in. You don't just, I ain't saying put your faith to the side, but you have to constantly remind us of that. We already know. Season 1, we met you, you was doing prayer meeting, okay, with the ladies. So we get it, okay? Um, They finally, Stormy said, hey, everybody, we're going to be doing a photo shoot. She take the ladies to her guest home in the back. And again, they impressed, like, oh, she got a guest home, especially Fumi. I'm telling you, Fumi's getting ideas. If your husband's Sam watching this, he better be careful because he going to be in the house just like that, okay? Sam done told you don't need no big old house. Y'all good where y'all at. But hey, that's what Fumi want. That's what Fumi going to get. Now, she set up a photo shoot. She's grabbed Kayla. She said, y'all go ahead and get y'all something to eat. She had a beautiful spread out there. The ladies started eating. She said, Kayla, come here. So her and Kayla sit down and having a conversation. And Kayla was like, Tiffany did, apologize to me on the bus, but she said, I'll be watching you. And Stormy said, hey, well, she told me I see right through you. So we already know this is going to be a Tiffany and a Stormy episode already. This is what's going to happen. So they go ahead and they do the photo shoot. Everybody's happy. It looks good. They don't know why she's doing it. Stormy said it's a surprise. Amber thinks she may know what's going on, but for now, it's going to be a surprise. And we never know what Stormy has up her sleeves. So they do the place cards on the dinner table. And it shows the camera zooms in on Stormy, who happens to be conveniently next to Tiffany. And I don't care. I just think the producers did that. I don't. It's Stormy's table. Why would you put her in the middle? It's her home. Anyway, they come out, everybody started getting seated. Stormy says, I'm claustrophobic. I cannot sit between people. Grabbed her name tag, switched places with Amber, and I guess Amber went over there to Tiffany. Tiffany had an attitude because Tiffany thought she was going to get to sit next to Stormy and Kiki because she wanted to, oh, maybe me and Stormy will be able to, have a conversation, whatever. But that ain't what happened. Okay. Once she sat down, Stormy said she started laughing when Stormy sat down. She said, what's funny? And then they kept going back and forth about Tiffany laughing. And then Stormy was like, I don't find anything funny. And she said, if you don't like it, you can leave. Tiffany said, okay, fine. I'm out. She said she got up and left. She said, I'm out of here. Stormy told her to leave. She said, okay, I'm out of here. So she gets up. Amber runs behind Tiffany to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Kayla in there going crazy over a blanket. Like, these so soft and pretty. Kayla's, sometimes I don't know if Kayla's even participating mentally, okay? I think Kayla got a lot of stuff going on with them kids and that ex-husband of hers. So Fumi's like, Kayla act like she ain't never seen a fur blanket before. Meanwhile, Amber's out there and they're trying to talk to Stormy. And I'm not Stormy, Tiffany, telling her not to leave. You came in here in a defensive mode. Y'all have to fix this. And she said, it's just a mop. I mean, she talking about she claustrophobic, Amber's telling her Stormy is claustrophobic. She doesn't like sitting around people. All she was saying was, I need to move my seat. Stormy back at the table said, you know what? I'm sick of her and her attitude. You know what? I don't even like her energy in my house. Let me get up and see what she's doing. So Stormy walks over and say, what is your issue with me? And they're trying to explain to Tiffany that what she said about the mop, this mop gate, I'm sick of. That it was offensive, and can you just acknowledge that? And Tiffany is like, yes, I can acknowledge if I offend you, but I still found it funny. Why is everybody so upset about this mop? Fumi even said, and Fumi doesn't even get into it. She's like, look, do you not understand when you offend a person, you have to be the bigger person and apologize. Tiffany up there talking about mopping is serving. Girl, ain't nobody trying to worry about no serving. Who serving who? God? So let me get this straight. You keep saying mopping is serving, mopping is serving. There's other ways to serve God too. So are you going to go mop and clean somebody's house so you can serve God, Tiffany? That just didn't make sense to me. And stop saying that. And this is what I mean about Tiffany continues to hide behind this religion or her religion per se. Again, nothing against religious people, but Tiffany, stop it. So they kept saying, Tiffany, apologize. I'm apologizing, but I still think it was funny. And she not understanding that Stormy is like, that's a backhanded apology. You can't apologize and then say but or put something after it. It's not a real apology. Stormy's like, y'all want me to be humility free. I don't brag about this or that, but you have no humility whatsoever with your back hand apology, and your demeanor is just terrible. And Tiffany still doesn't see what she is doing. Stormy told her she can get her behind on that bus. She told her to get out of her house. Tiffany said, I'm going to leave, but I need you to go to therapy and find out what's going on with you. If you're so offended by a mop, you need to talk to your therapist. Learn how to express your emotions and not be offended. Go to therapy if you're offended by a mop. And that's when Stormy said, I know you lying. You got me real effed up. She said, bye, B. BITCH, by 304. Get out of my house. Get off of my property. And Tiffany studied screaming, get therapy. Why are you so offended by a mop? That's it. That's all. Mop gate is still going on. Tiffany, come to the front. It's not that Stormy's offended by the mop. Stormy is pissed off because you keep giving her backhand apology. Stormy is telling you just because you found it funny doesn't mean it was funny to me, and that's offensive. That's like if I walk up to a person and I make fun of their shoes and I laugh, but it may be the only pair of shoes they got. I may found it funny, but that person may be offended because this is the only pair of shoes they got and they don't see it to be funny. So now I have to apologize. Hey, I didn't realize it bothered you that much. I apologize. It was a bad joke. That's it. That's simple. At least the person knows that you recognize their feelings. You recognize what you did to them. You recognize you hurt them. You recognize that they felt offended. You have to sometimes acknowledge other people's feelings and put yours aside. And that's what Tiffany is not doing. Because she swore Stormy didn't say that she was claustrophobic when she got up. When they replayed it back, she said, I have to leave because I'm claustrophobic. You just got up and left. No, she said that. Now, whether Stormy's claustrophobic or not, because I know she's been on the other shows at the tea and everything else, and I don't remember where she sat at. I don't know if she sat next to somebody or not. So it could be legit, could not be. I don't know. But Tiffany, at the end of the day, acknowledge somebody's feelings besides your own. Because all you seem to care about is, I got to please God. I got holy water. The Spirit said this. Serving is next to God. But your attitude ain't giving us nothing about godly. That's all I'm saying. God said we should not anger. We should not be, condescending to people or pushing people to certain things to do. I'm not saying you're going against what your beliefs is, but it seemed like you hide behind that to do condescending and nasty things. And you, Tiffany, are very condescending, and you give me not saying you're not a girl's girl, but you're very hard for women to bond with because of the way you act. As I said before, I think Tiffany does not like Stormy stepping on her toes because she seems to want to be the belle of the ball, and Stormy has moved into her territory. That's all I'm saying. Meanwhile, Amber over there crying because, oh, my two friends. What are you crying for? Those are two grown women. And y'all know who's wrong and who's right in that situation. But everybody is running to Stormy's side in a sense. So I know Tiffany may feel a little bit isolated, but Tiffany has to understand how she is portraying herself or looking within the group. And that's probably why they're running over there to support Stormy. I'm not saying Stormy is right, because Stormy went into, when Stormy called her the B word and a 304 and said, you got me effed up. That's the Stormy I know. Tiffany, you're bringing out the worst in Stormy. Okay, she started the show out real smooth and cool, like, oh, Stormy's being reinvented. She much nicer now, much calmer. She not popping. You done drug that out of her, and I don't know if you're going to be able to bring it back, because you know what they say: once that train leaves the station, you can't bring it back. Hurricane Stormy has arrived, Tiffany, and it's going to be a beast to handle. And with that being said, this Generation X Nation, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the like button, hit the comments. I kind of went through it pretty quick because, like I said, I don't like doing these long reviews on these reality TV shows. But yeah, that was a pretty good show. But to me, I just felt like Stormy has been activated. Hurricane Stormy has been activated, and she about to get out here in these streets. And Tiffany, you better watch out. And Tiffany, you just need how to read the room and maybe Try to understand that you're not the only person who has an opinion or feelings when it comes to this group. All right. With that being said, you guys go out, have a great rest of your Sunday. This is Gen X Nation. And as always, peace. And I'm out.